Coming to you from that once-forgotten artery that pulses through the center of the continental United States and into the heart of the Ozarks, Grace Matthews. Looking in from the northern border, our Canadian friend, along with his countrymen feeling the effects of U.S. political issues, Connor Murphy.
Welcome to Dueling Dialogues, episode 178. I'm Connor Murphy here with Grace Matthews in a chilly Springfield, Missouri. How you doing, Grace?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you staying warm?
Okay. Well, I'm saving a lot of money on utility bills.
Well, it must be all the carbon tax we're paying up here in Canada. That's
you guys are cooling it off with that carbon tax.
Yeah.
They want us to start. The Democrats want us to start.
Of course they do.
We'll all freeze to death if we start paying.
They want your money.
Yeah. Tell you what. It's crazy. I mean, it's just like our show today. We've got a lot of information, stunning information. I wish it was all good. It's not, but it is, things are just jaw-dropping right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're freezing to death and our jaws are dropping. And things are changing. I mean, people are really on the defense. They're saying, to hell with the old. It's like a new me. I feel like Mary Tyler Moore's just entered everybody's body and, she's the new girl in town. But, we've had donkeys for Democrats, elephants for Republicans. Now we got a group out there of conservatives who say to hell with it. We are the deplorable lions.
Okay.
Which is interesting, As a Jew, I got lions on my front porch. They represent Judah. Now they represent deplorable conservative.
That's funny.
I kind of like some of their lions, though. I mean, lions are so cool.
Yeah.
These guys are coming up with some great pictures of lions with some graphics and memes, I like the lion thing.
Good.
So, watch out.
I never understood the donkey thing.
No, who wants to be a donkey?
Well, I mean, I granted their asses, right? But
but if you are one, you don't want to be one. I mean, it's hard to believe that one day they chose that.
Yeah, you guys got the eagles, you got bears, you could choose anything.
Yeah.
And it was a donkey.
Yeah, I really need to read about how they came about that. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they didn't think that one out.
Yeah, I mean, Okay. So, generic drugs. The president is sort of trying to come up with ways he can help the American people, especially with health care, that doesn't really require Congress, because Congress isn't going to do squat with him, for him, and, maybe impeach him, but...
Yeah, exactly.
The other day, that I have this thyroid issue.
Right.
And I went to the doctor, and my numbers keep fluctuating.
Right.
And she said, it's probably because you're taking the generic drug. And I'm like, well, why would that matter? She said, well, in order to gain FDA approval in the United States, you only have to have 80% of the active ingredient.
Oh.
And 20%, not having 20%, can be very critical.
No doubt.
So I started checking into it, just as it related to people I know. And I have a son with a seizure disorder.
Right.
We've had cycles of seizure disorders. I have a family member that has severe depression. Always takes her medicine.
Right.
And sometimes she just cycles.
Right.
And sometimes I'm sure people can cycle. But how much of that is due to the generic drug?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me because, the whole reason that we stopped went into the cannabis prohibition 100 years ago was for the dosed pill, because cannabis is very hard to dose.
Sure.
So that's one of the reasons why, we went into that big prohibition. So now the dosed pill is not the dosed pill.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think that the government should push for a higher percentage of active ingredient in generic medication.
Well, it should be 100%.
1 or 2%. It should be 100.
Yeah, absolutely.
But 20% is a lot. And in a lot of cases, you might cut down. You might be surprised on how many doctor's visits and emergency visits you might cut down on.
Yeah.
Just by bringing up that standard.
Yeah, that is not
I wonder if Canada
acceptable.
allows that.
Good question. Most of the drugs I get are generic.
Yeah.
So
Well, it saves a lot of money.
yeah, I don't know. Good question. That's a good question. I got to ask my doctor.
And then, when you have the, non-prescription medications, we treat them like food.
Right.
So, people, it's sort of buy at your own risk, vitamins, supplements. Well, it looks like we're going to have the same problem with CBD. A couple of media outlets did some tests, and a whole lot of the CBD products had no CBD.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here's the issue. In order to ship across any borders whatsoever, the CBD level has to be less than 0.3%. Yes. So a lot of those companies that are producing what they call CBD oil aren't even using cannabis. Some of them will use hemp. Some of them will use vegetables, because CBD is in pretty much quite a few vegetables that I know of, just on very, very small quantities of it. So you're not really getting the full impact. It's the equivalent of your generic drug with 0.3% of the active ingredient in there. So you're just basically buying some oil.
Right, and you're paying anywhere from $60 to $120. I mean,
Yes.
I see it all over the place.
Yes. That's the only way that, it's still kind of legal across borders and things like that. So there is a serious problem there. And basically, if you need CBD oil, you should seek your medical cannabis prescription from a doctor. And that way you can buy from a cannabis company and get legitimate dosages. And for actually treating a serious disease, you need that. Don't go with that generic 0.3%. So,
Exactly. And in Missouri, you can go to the state website and get paperwork to start filling it out for the certain diseases so you can get your card.
Right.
I did see that. I read about that in a news article. So go to that site, you fill it all out, then I guess you take it to your doctor and he signs off saying, he's not reading a script, he's just saying, you have this disease.
Right, which is a proper way to do it. Right now in Canada, you have to see a doctor that's going to give you a prescription.
Yeah. And
the major problem with that is doctors are not trained in cannabis.
No, and they don't want to.
Exactly. So a guy like me that is gone through cannabis education, has been a cannabis user medically for 7 years now. I know way more than my doctor. I mean, I had this discussion with my doctor and he just kind of put up his hand and stopped me and he says, look, how am I going to prescribe something that you know more or better than I do? He says, I have no idea what you're even talking about. So that's one of the major problems.
I hope that eventually they educate themselves now. There are sites out there that do educate people. I assume they could educate doctors.
I just built one.
Okay, what's that site? Is it up and running?
It is up and running. We're actually still in testing at the moment, but it's up and you can view it and see our course outlines and everything like that. It's medicalcannabiscanada.ca.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be talking more about that from time to time because I know people are interested in it.
Yeah, it truly is life-changing for a lot of people that have suffered for a long time. It's kind of a miracle fix, especially for some of those people that have the severe epilepsy and things like that. This is
exactly.
It's far better than any pill out there on the market. So, yeah.
For sure, with fewer side effects.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, impeachment is still on the table. We go from cannabis to impeachment. Um, there's an interesting, the president, of course, is not an attorney.
Right.
But he threw something out on Twitter, of course, the other day that got the attention of some attorneys.
Oh?
Okay, so if the Mueller investigation lasted for, some 22 months, okay, they spent $35 million. He had unlimited resources. No one ever told him no. He spoke and interviewed 500 people. There were millions and millions of pages of documents. The president made everybody on his team available. The president himself answered questions on paper. One might draw the conclusion that it was a thorough investigation.
Right.
The findings in that investigation were not guilty.
Exactly.
I know there's argument about whether he's innocent or not, but he's not guilty.
Right.
Okay? Now, if Congress takes up impeachment, which the criteria for impeachment is high crimes and misdemeanors, and the Mueller report really shows there isn't high crimes and misdemeanors, or came to that conclusion.
Right.
Yeah. You can argue about what they found, but they came to that conclusion, and the powers that be that were supposed to come to conclusions, we have to accept their conclusions by law.
Right.
Okay. So now that I've confused you, if there are no high crimes and misdemeanors, is Congress committing something to the equivalent of malpractice? In that case, you take it to the Supreme Court to let them decide.
Okay.
It could happen.
Yeah, you got to wonder, some of the actions, the whole reason for this whole kerfuffle was, or should I say, kerfuffle?
Yeah, kerfuffle.
I forgot about that word already.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the whole reason for this was a fake dossier. You'd think that as the FBI, you'd look into the cause, but
no, but they didn't. But at least we have Barr and Durham,
right,
and the IG Horowitz. They're all looking into the cause, so the cause is going to come out. And I don't know how, but Christopher Steele, the author of the dossier, the Trump, he really hated Trump. He has agreed to be interviewed not by Congress, but by Durham, by the U.S. Attorney Durham, the U.S. Attorney in charge of investigating the investigators.
Wow. Huh.
So I think that's interesting. I think they had to make him a deal for him to agree to this. He surely just didn't say, okay, I'm going to come do that.
Right.
Considering there's so many lies in it.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting.
And he's British, so, they had to have something on him and they had to make a deal.
Yeah.
But the good news is we should get information.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of the IG report, I was really hoping we'd get it last Friday. Of course, I've hoped a lot of Fridays.
Right.
I'm going to quit doing that because I'm jinxing it. Word on the street is that Barr, Attorney General Barr, already has a copy.
Oh, wow.
But there's a holdup, and that, of course, it's basically finished, but there's a holdup in that the FBI director, Christopher Wray, seems to be withholding some documents.
Oh.
Now, he has not been very cooperative. And we know that this is one of Trump's guys.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
What is his motive there? Huh.
I don't know, but I have never found him to be, I don't know. He seems like an extension of the deep state. How about I say it like that?
Yeah. Check his bank account for that 10 to 12 million.
Yeah. Well, eventually it'll be there. For sure. Okay, we've got Republicans again, that have weak stomach. Trump's making them nervous over these Mexican tariffs. I mean, actually, I don't know. Some of these guys, are they deep state or deep state, or just wimpy?
Yeah.
I kind of think they get queasy when Trump does something that has teeth, you know? Okay, if Congress is not going to do anything as far as legislating us out of this immigration crisis, disaster, whatever you want to call it, then Trump has to do something to lure Mexico into doing it.
Well, pretty much he has to.
Yeah, and saying something stupid like, we're going to drink your tequila probably isn't going to work. It's got to be something big. And so he came up with this tariff. It starts out 5% next Monday. Each month on the 1st till October, it goes up another 5%. There's a delegation in D.C. right now trying to work out some details. We've heard that Mexico might be balking a bit. Balk till Monday.
Yeah.
But Republicans are a little nervous about Trump instigating this.
Well, it's all he's got. I mean,
it's all he's got.
They keep blocking him on every move, whether it's good or bad for the American people. It's just anti-Trump, anti-Trump, anti-Trump.
Yeah.
So this is all he's got. So.
Yeah. And in the meantime, we, like I said, we've got a disaster. We've got, human trafficking, drugs, and people pouring in with illness, every nasty illness known to man.
Yeah, it's
very medieval.
I don't know how the Democrats can't see it. I just don't know.
Oh, I think they can see it. They just hate him more.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And that's inhumane.
Yeah, I mean, that is not working for the people. That's working against Trump.
Exactly. Okay, well, what about crazy Biden? I mean, I just cannot believe. They said they didn't want an old guy. They didn't want a white guy. They wanted something different, and he's the front runner by far.
Yeah.
And he just does stupid things. So, in relation to global warming, he says the rest of the world is moving ahead of us. Now, you've got India and China creating most of the world's, pollution.
Right.
And emissions problems. How can we be behind everybody? He's just like Obama, he just talks us down all the time. And that's not to mention the fact that he's plagiarized this whole green plan.
Yeah, this is not the first time he's been accused of plagiarism, is it?
No, he had to pull out of the 88 race because he plagiarized. I mean, it's happened over and over again. There's like 4 or 5 incidents. He's, that's his claim to fame is gaffes and plagiarism.
Yeah.
And, this quasi-pedophilia or fascination with young children's necks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't get it. That's their front runner.
Creepy, sleepy.
And you figure he's going to beat Trump? Really?
Yeah. And I thought they were going to be a little more creative than Joe Biden.
Yeah.
But that goes to show you that the rest of them have just gone too far left. There's just nothing else there.
Well, I think what's actually being said by Biden there is that he wants to carbon tax you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He did say that.
Yeah,
he
there
didn't
you
even
go.
try to hide it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's working in Canada, so hey.
Yeah, it's working. We're all
no, it's not. I'm not enjoying.
I think it's just a way to collect money and spend it on whatever they want.
Oh, yeah. I don't enjoy paying nearly $9 a gallon for gasoline. I don't enjoy that one little bit.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, Paul Manafort. There's, he's got 4 counts, I believe it is, of federal crimes.
Right.
And Trump could pardon him on that. However, he's got all these state crimes, and Trump can't pardon state crimes.
Oh, okay.
in what looks like a gross partisan move, they are moving Paul Manafort to Rikers Island.
Well, isn't that like a hardcore prison?
That is the hardest of the hardcore.
Wow. In Canada, we have like country club prisons for guys like him.
Well, and that's where he should be. He's old. He's sick.
Yeah.
He didn't even commit a violent crime.
Yeah, and you're going to put him in with murderers and mass murderers. Wow.
Well, even they said in order to keep him safe, they're going to have to put him in solitary.
Oh, so that he's just going to go crazy now. Wow.
Yeah, I think this is partisan. I think it's abuse.
Absolutely.
And these are some sick asses doing that.
Yeah, I think Trump should be looking into a little more of that, or Barr.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to look into that.
Somebody needs to look at it because
that don't sound
he's
right.
Already probably going to die in prison.
Yeah, pretty much. But
yeah, that's just not right. It's not right.
No, that upsets me.
I'll tell you what else isn't right is The View. It's never
it's never right.
Okay, well, last week, Joy Behar and Meghan McCain, who are usually fighting each other, apparently they were both chatting about assassination.
Oh.
Or referencing assassination of the president.
Oh, imagine that.
This week, they are mysteriously missing.
Oh, MIA on The View.
Exactly. And it's probably a much better show this week.
No, never. It's never going to be a good show. The only thing The View is good for is giving us stuff to talk about and disagree with. So
Exactly.
Thank you, The View.
And another one who is getting sort of a payback for slamming the Trump people all the time for years is Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. She is struggling to stay in fourth place. Now, for a while, she had beat Kennedy a couple of times.
Wow.
It's been a while. But since the release of the Mueller report, she is down by 500,000 plus viewers.
Wow.
Because she led them to believe that there was going to be, an indictment and that she had inside information. And the people said, you know what, to hell with you. You lied.
Huh. Good. That news doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Well, and, just to add to that, the New York Times has decided not to lend any of their reporters to her show or Don Lemon's CNN show.
Oh.
So just too partisan. Well, when you get too partisan for the New York Times, you're way too partisan.
Yeah.
You're brutal.
Yeah, that's
too brutal for the New York Times because we know how they are.
Yeah, you notice I do see some posts by CNN, and I think they've kind of stopped with their craziness a little bit. They've toned it down
a little bit. I'm still seeing clips. That
but you don't see those.
Agree.
You don't see those panel of experts like you used to.
No, not near as much.
Or supposed experts.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really just, if there was an expert, can you be an expert in Trump hating?
Yeah, well, those same...
At a degree.
Yeah, those same experts predicted a landslide victory for Hillary.
Yeah.
I almost said Villery.
Villery. Yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah, I like that. Huh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Freudian slip.
Oh, absolutely. Now, on a sad note, this is just really one of the saddest things I've ever heard. A 17-year-old girl has been legally euthanized in the Netherlands. She had PTSD. She said she couldn't get over or rape, actually more than one rape, that had happened when she was 14 years old. Wow. And I just am deeply saddened that I believe everyone can be helped into a better place with therapy. You certainly can't make it go away.
Right.
But death is really final.
Yeah, this is very odd because there's treatments for PTSD.
Absolutely.
And therapies for it. I'm okay with, legal euthanization for people that are very sick, in a lot of pain, that have no hope, right? Yeah. To end it a bit quicker. Yes, I because I've seen people suffer, and it's not.
This right here is an abuse of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they're in the Netherlands too. We spoke about cannabis earlier. Cannabis is something that would have helped her deal with that PTSD, the anxiety, all of that. So it's that hurts. I don't like it.
So sad.
That's an abuse. That's definitely abuse. Netherlands, not a good thing.
Yeah,
whoever made that decision was wrong.
Yeah, that is very wrong. Well, as you know, I agree with Pope Francis on just about nothing. I might actually agree with him on this. He has decided, taken it upon his holy self, to change the Lord's Prayer.
Oh.
And at first I was appalled when I saw a headline about that. But, okay, the line that says, "Lead us not into temptation." Now, most of us pray to a God that would not lead us into temptation.
Right.
A benevolent God. So he says, why not say, "Do not let us fall into temptation"?
There you go. Yeah,
it makes more sense.
It makes more sense, but I'm saying the same Lord's Prayer for 54 years, and it's not gonna. That change is not gonna happen.
Yeah. I know. I have two versions, a Christian and a Jewish version, and pretty much it's embedded in my head.
Yeah. So. Yeah. If I actually think about it, I mess up because I just so used to saying it in my head. So there you go.
A city gate from King David's time has been uncovered in Golan Heights.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's way cool. Wow. It's just sort of a slanted bridge, a gateway into the city. Golan Heights is the area that separates Syria, I believe it's Syria and Israel. The one that they are going to rename after Trump, that area. Right.
Well, that area, obviously, if they had a gate, they had a wall, too.
Exactly. Very good point.
A couple thousand years ago, if you didn't have a wall, you were dead.
Yeah, they liked walls then.
Well, you had no choice because the world was pretty much in chaos the way it is actually today. Nothing's changed. Just different people fighting.
I will tell you, these media platforms are not making any friends.
No, it doesn't seem so lately. Definitely not.
Okay, hebephilia is similar to pedophilia, except the perpetrator is attracted to a more pubescent child, a child in puberty.
Right.
Okay, so there was a picture when you Googled hebephilia up until last night or this morning of Trump and his much younger daughter, Ivanka, on his knee at an event.
Oh, wow. Wow,
sick.
They're not scared of hiding their political stances, are they?
No, and okay, politics can get bad, but why would we need to bring something like that in to it?
Well, I think it opens them up for a huge lawsuit, and I hope when Trump gets out of office, he pursues that.
Yeah.
Because I believe he would have every right in the world to sue them. Of course,
and he probably will do that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he strikes out at them a little bit and punishes them via the law, the way it should actually be done.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we agree there.
Yep, and we don't always agree, but life's a journey and we're all in this together. Thanks for listening. Godspeed, Connor. Godspeed to all of our friends out there.
Godspeed, Grace, and thanks for listening, everyone.